Hello and welcome to the topic Aims and Functions of Education. Introduction to the concept of education. By definition, education is a transfer of knowledge from one generation to another. It is a system of practice of teaching and learning. In its broadest meaning, education is any process by which an individual gains knowledge or insight or develops attitude or skill. In its deepest meaning of the term education, it means to plunge a man's body, mind and soul of ignorance. It enhances an individual's personality and provides him confidence to reach out to the world. Education is a Latin word which includes three Latin words, namely educare, which means to nourish, educare, that means to lead forth, and educatum, meaning the act of teaching. However, education has got a deep meaning. It is not just becoming literate or getting a degree or simply gaining knowledge or learning new skills. So, let us go through what different thinkers have said about education. According to Rabindranath Tagore, education enables the mind to find out the ultimate truth which emancipates us from the bondage of dust. Again, according to Gandhiji, education is an all-round development and drawing out the best in the child, mind, body and spirit. Thus, the Indian interpreters gave stress on the mental, moral, social, physical and intellectual aspects of a human being. But according to Western thinkers like John Dewey, education is the development of all the activities in the individual, enabling him to control his environment. And G.S. Thompson says that education is the influence of the environment on the individual to bring a permanent change in habits and behavior. So, Western interpreters considered education has to give stress on the growth and development of the individual in relation to his environment. Some features which help us to define education process are cited below. It is a lifelong process, that is a process of development from infancy to maturity. It is a bipolar process which includes the interplay of the educator and educand. It is also a tripolar process including the interplay of the educator, educand and social process. It is a deliberate process in which the educator is aware of his aim. It is a preserver and transmitter of heritage, that is, the cultural heritage is transmitted from one generation to generation. It is a progressive in the sense it changes according to the needs and demands of the society. So, we can conclude education as a dynamic process which involves the interplay of the educator, educand and the social forces to make an individual socially adjustable and responsible. Module 2, Aims of Education. Aims are general statements which provide direction or intent to educational action. The aims of education have been categorized variously by different scholars. Herbert Spencer believed in the complete living aim. Another famous thinker, Herbert, advocated the moral aim of education. The complete living aim signifies that education should prepare us for life. It should be meant for the complete development or perfection of nature. The first and most important aim of education is all-round development of an individual. It civilizes the man. It inculcates some values and some principles and also prepares a human being for social life. The moral aim of Herbert states that education should help to grow moral values in children. Along with imparting knowledge and giving vocation training, education should assist development of moral habits. There is another social aim which means education should produce effective individuals in the sense that they realize their responsibility towards the society. Edmund Burke states, education is an intercourse with the world, with men and with affairs. Anyways, education is for the betterment of the individual and in the long run for the society. It should make a person an improved version of himself and the world a much better place to live in. Some of the most commonly discussed aims of education are given below. Knowledge aim. There will be no argument that the aim of education is the acquisition of knowledge, skills and attitude. Education helps to attain certain skills to live in a society as a human being and civilized one. Philosophers and educationists of the world believe in knowledge. It is a valuable asset of life which helps the individual to overcome misery and problems of life. The vocational aim. The idea that education should enable a person to earn his livelihood exists since antiquity. The primitive people taught skills to their young generation with this purpose. Knowledge aim of education is narrow by nature. Gandhiji realized it in 1937 when he introduced basic education. Vocational aim develops the social efficiency of the individual. Realizing this aspect, Indian Education Commission introduces work experiences in the curriculum. It is intended to develop proficiency in a particular vocation which helps an individual to attain a job after his or her education. Character building aim. The Indian concept of education believes in self-realization. Self-realization is possible through moral education. So, the individual should cultivate moral virtues or values which constitute character. Swami Vivekananda suggests, we want that education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, the intellect is expanded and by which one can stand on one's own feet. The complete living aim. An individual has various aspects to be developed. Every aspect of the personality is reflected in various activities to be performed. Education should help the individual to fulfill the various needs and necessities of life like self-preservation, fulfilling necessities of life, rearing and bearing of children, performing civic responsibilities and utilizing his leisure time properly. Firstly, the individual must know the art of self-preservation. Secondly, education should enable him to earn his living. Thirdly, he should know how to take care of his own children. Lastly, he must have the idea how to utilize the leisure hours properly in a profiting manner. The democratic aim. One of the important aims of education suggested by Secondary Education Commission is to develop the democratic citizenship. India is a democratic country. Even citizens must have to realize the duties and responsibilities carefully. So, the aim of education is to train carefully the future citizens. Training should be provided to develop the following qualities of the individual: capacity for clear thinking, receptivity of new idea, clarity in speech and writing, true patriotism. The cultural aim of education. Continuity in man's social life is possible through this process. The valuable cultural heritage which has accumulated a vast store of human knowledge and experience is transmitted to the coming generation through education. Culture includes arts, science, religions and the social customs developed gradually by many people contributing to it. It has to be conserved and transmitted to the youth for the cultural growth of the nation. Progressive aim of education. Education is not only the necessary for the conservation of the culture, but is also essential for its progress. The dynamic process of education operates in this direction. Man has been moving on the way of progress since the beginning of the world. Possessing a superior nervous system, he discovered and invented ways and means for making his life more comfortable. Education enhances his efficiency for exploring and utilizing the natural resources around him. Dewey has propounded the theory that the main purpose of education is to modify the behavior of the child in such a way that he may be able to adjust himself to his environment and to modify his environment to accord with his own. Social efficiency as an aim of education. The aim of social efficiency is identical with the progressive aim of education presented by John Dewey, the American pragmatist. He says that the child has to develop social efficiency and learn skills for proper adjustment in his everyday life. In the modern age, social efficiency is considered as one of the greatest skills in human being. Education should enable the child to participate constructively in democratic group life and to play different roles of life effectively and efficiently. Social growth or the development of social efficiency in a child is a very significant process. A child's social efficiency or inefficiency affects his entire life. He lives in a complicated world and education should enable him to meet the challenges of this dynamic world successfully. Efficiency in social adjustment is a most sought for quality in the modern times. According to Dewey, the process of education has psychological as well as sociological aspects. The psychological aspects are the basis of whole process and the teacher has to consider the nature, interest and potentialities of the learners. Personality development as an aim of education. The most accepted, comprehensive and modern aim of education is the proper development of the personality of the student. It implies development in all the aspects of their life, that is mental, physical, social and even emotional. Plato said that nothing should be taught to children which were not conducive to the promotion of virtue in them. Intelligence plays a major role in the process of learning. Hence, the development of the intellect is told as one aim of education by many people. Educators are of the opinion that one aspect of human life should not be developed at the expense of others. Instead, development should be in all directions to result ultimately in the development of entire personality. Functions of education. As we discussed the aims of education above, it is clear that education is essential for every society and individual. It can be told as life itself, but not a preparation for life. Man has various qualities. These qualities of the individual should be developed for the improvement of the country. So, education plays a complementary role for overall individual, social and national development. It enables an individual to realize his highest self and goal. The key functions and roles of education towards individual, society and country are listed below. Functions of education towards individual. Development of inborn potentialities. Education helps the child to find out and then develop the inborn potentialities of child, providing exposure and opportunity to develop. Modifying behavior. Education helps to modify the past behavior through learning and through different agencies of education. All-round development. Education aims at the all-round development of child, physical, mental, social, emotional and spiritual. Preparing for the future. Education functions in a way that the child can earn its livelihood if he achieved a proper vocational education. The education should be imparted according to the own interest of the child. Developing personality. The whole personality of the child is developed physically, intellectually, morally, socially, aesthetically and spiritually. He is recognized in the society. Helping for adjustability. Man differs from beast by possessing the reasoning and thinking power. Man tries to best to adjust with his own environment through education. Functions of education towards society. Social change and control. The child has to live in a society which is progressive and dynamic. It is the social environment where the personality of the child can be developed. The old traditions, customs and all are preserved and transmitted through generations. Education should help one to understand all these deeply and analyze what meaning they have in the present society. Education helps to work with the development of science and technology. Reconstruction of experiences. Education is a lifelong process. A person's life goes through educating himself or herself in each moment. Life is full of experiences. One cannot live with his past experiences which are unable to adjust in the society. So, education helps the individual to reconstruct the experiences and adjust with the environment. Development of social and moral value. Education teaches the moral value and social values like cooperation, tolerance, sympathy, fellow feelings, love, affection, respect towards elder, helping the poor and needy persons. All these values are essential for a human being to live in a society as a social animal. Providing opportunity or equality. Indian Constitution has introduced the term equality because we are not getting equal opportunities in all aspects. Education teaches us to give almost equal opportunities in all aspects irrespective of caste, creed, color, sex and religion. Functions of education towards nation. Inculcation of civic and social responsibility. Education helps to make rising generation to understand its rights and duties as citizens of a democratic country. Training for leadership. The leadership quality of the individual is developed when he participates in all spheres of social, political, religious and educational activities. National integration. We are living in one country having diversities in respect of color, caste, language, diet, dress, habits and physical environment. Education leads to unity and through that the integration of the nation. Total national development. Education helps for bringing about total national development by developing its all aspects, that is social, economic, cultural, spiritual, moral, educational, etc. Therefore, really education is an essential ingredient for all ages and stages of the life of an individual, society as well as the nation. Proper education can be a real panacea for all social evils. A well educated mind is a healthy mind and many healthy minds contribute for a healthy nation. Curriculum and the system of education. So far we have seen that what are the aims and functions of education. So in order to bring all these into practice, we should have good education system based on proper curriculum. In fact, the curriculum is the base of education process. If education is a teaching learning process, then both these activities takes place through the curriculum. So education is a tripolar process in which on the one end is the teacher, on the second is the student and on the third is the curriculum. We can describe curriculum as the total environment, the environment in motion. It includes every single thing that surrounds the learner. We know that the child's education is influenced by loads of things except books, that is library, laboratory, extracurricular activities, playground, etc. So, all these should be included in the curriculum. In the words of Monroe, curriculum embodies all the experiences which are utilized by the school to attain the aims of education. So, curriculum does not mean only academic subject taught in a traditional way, but it is a totality of the experiences that a student receives through various activities going on in school, classroom, library, workshop, playground, and also in the informal contacts between students and teachers. It is obvious that the aim of curriculum is to provide experience to the educand so that the educand may achieve mental, physical, emotional, social and spiritual development. So, it is a tool for education. The purpose of curriculum, we all know that the fundamental objective of a curriculum is the acquisition of knowledge, but this is only a primary aim of education. In order to achieve the all-round development of a child through education, the curriculum needs to cover some other points also. The curriculum should aim at the harmony between individual and the activity. To live in a society, the individual has to possess some values like the ability to cooperate, the desire to be of service, sympathy, etc. So, the curriculum has to give the stress to develop all these social qualities and at the same time the development of the student's character and personality. It should aim at creating democratic values such as equality, liberty and fraternity. It should make the student to become a democratic citizen. It should also satisfy the requirements of the educands. It should be formed in such a way that it can find the abilities, skills, interests and attitudes of an educand. Another objective of the curriculum is to create an environment suitable to the educand. The environment must assist the educand in achieving the maximum possible development of his facilities, abilities and capabilities. In short, keeping all these details in mind, we should form a curriculum which helps the all-round development of the child, which is the most important aim of education. Let us summarize the major points in this session. In this unit, we have attempted to find out what is meant by education. We have seen the definition of education and the aims of education. In the first module, we tried to explain some of the important aims of education. We have seen that the aim of education is not simply gaining knowledge or becoming literate, but education means more than that. It shapes an individual. And in the second module, we discussed in detail what the functions of education are. Education has some functions towards the individual, the society and the nation. It is education which helps the national integration. Then finally, we also saw that for the effective implementation of the aims and functions, there should be a proper curriculum. It is the curriculum which defines the education process. Now, you can try to answer the given questions here. What is the definition of education? What are the features of educational process? What is meant by the complete living aim of education? What are the functions of education towards individual? Now, you can go through the books here for reference. Thank you for watching this program. Hope that you have enjoyed this session. We will meet again with another topic. Till then, take care.